Henry McClure live here in the Glass Houses studio. Man, today I woke up with a really bad feeling. I had a premonition about the beginning of the end for our community, and it all stems around this AT&T building and this lease and the over 9 million dollars we're going to give to one of the oligarchs of this community, and it's flat out the worst thing ever. And I'm going to tell you something. Hey, MD, if you're watching this, there's a couple of things that we need to download from the Jetto video besides Molly's comments. One thing that was definitely void from her comments on this thing was the ROI. You know, she's constantly always talking about the return on investment, and that's really not what economic development's about. Economic development is making investment, um, make an investment that's good for everybody. That's why the infrastructure dollars are so important today. So look at all the road issues that were on the ballot. Economic development was just one small part of it. But I'm telling you, where we are today with inflation and the rising cost, we're going to have such huge shortfalls in those road projects. It's just not going to make sense. It's just like it's like there was a point in time where they started funneling the water department money to the wrong thing and made us so far behind on the infrastructure for our water. And so don't forget, not too long ago, we were just boiling water. We had to boil water. We had a community as advanced as we are, the capital city of Kansas, and we're out there boiling water like we're on a camping trip. But I'm telling you, when I worked in the mall business, May Siegel always said, never count another man's money. But this taxpayer allocation to sign a 10-year lease, and then, hey, number one, somebody tell me, research department out there, tell me how this entity can commit, because I'm pretty sure the whole sales tax thing sunsets in what, 2 or 3 years. So we need to look at when the current sales tax thing sunsets, and so this can't be just an excuse. Well, we have to renew it because we signed this lease. So what they will do now, I'm telling you, they will have um, deal after deal come in, and they'll give them grants just to feed that animal. And I'm telling you something. And then you got to pull down Karen Hiller's comment. She's the one that looks like Rachel Maddow. You'll recognize her, red sweater, small mustache. But anyway, you've got to um, you got to listen to Karen Hiller's words because she mystically ties everything together, which will include an iconic footbridge, the riverfront, and now the AT&T building is the basis of all this. It's what's going to make downtown flourish, and it's all sophistry. It is complete sophistry. And if you don't know what sophistry is, look it up. It's Yiddish. It's for bullshit. This is the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. So, and hey, Deputy Mayor, you're wrong. This is not a good project. This is absolutely not a good project, because if it were a good project, the dude that owns the building would be paying for it for himself. Because if it's such a great project, it should stand on its own. But you guys are suckers. All of you are suckers. And you got to start looking at Go Topeka. The last, we'll see who the board of directors are here. I guess I could pull it up here. Who are the board of directors of Go Topeka? So, Patrick Vosberg is the Go Topeka chair, and Beth Easter is the Go Topeka chair elect. These are the people you got to start looking at because if you listen to the meeting, the chair elect works for the Cyrus Hotel. Isn't that's rich? Um, so anyway, look, everybody, the oligarchs run Go Topeka. And so what they've done is they keep donating money to um, the Greater Topeka Partnership, um, to the Go Topeka, to the Chamber. So they keep donating money there. Look, if they can pay Matt Pavarnak $338,000 to do their bidding, and I start looking at Matt Pavarnak as like he's the Gavin Newsom of Shawnee County. You know, Trump's out there telling him, you know, what to do, how to avoid these fires, and California's burning right now because it's what they deserve. They got what they deserved. They didn't maintain the community appropriately for the good of everybody. Gavin Newsom's out there tearing down dams and getting rid of water reservoirs for a smelt egg, and so some of the indigenous species out there can salmon fish. And look what happened. These disasters, and what I felt this morning was the old gut feeling of that Topeka has turned into this disaster zone. And until we're going to have to start holding the officers and the executive committee of Go Topeka, the Chamber, and the Greater Topeka Partnership accountable. And those are the people that put the county commissioners and the city council people in. I mean, look at this guy. You know, what does he know about really running a community? He just does what he's told by the oligarchs. And you guys, and Deputy Mayor, you're wrong. This is not a good idea. You know, think about the guy that owns the building has a full court basketball court out on his house, right? And think about Oakland. He's got a better community center at his house than anything we've got over on the east side. And we're giving this guy $9 million more. You know, one of my viewers is always constantly, you know, because every once in a while I'll defend Jim Klausman. I will. Because he didn't invent Lawrence Bay, I don't think. I know he was partners with Gene Yanni, and he lives in Gene Yanni's house, and maybe I'm just naive. Every once in a while, I'll try to give the guy a benefit of the doubt. But now I don't give AIM strategies the benefit of anything. I'll never set foot in one of their businesses ever. I wouldn't want one nickel of my money to go to help those guys, because they should be more responsible as they should be more responsible as leaders in the community to say, you know something, I don't need more money, and I don't need this. It's really not going to take the community anywhere. It won't. This is not. It's what it's done. It'll be a do nothing. It will be a perpetual machine to feed Go Topeka. So they'll just keep giving grants over here to make sure that their project is successful, all the time just wasting our taxpayer money. If we just put money into infrastructure, we win as a community. So, hey, you can you vote with your wallets, and what really, you know, we ought to make We ought to make Matt and Molly confess their sins uh, at the time of these meetings in front of the public. Is hey, this is how much this guy donated to the system, and this is why. And I don't care how many restaurants you own or hotels or whatever. None of that matters. That doesn't mean you get an excuse to get $9 million in a bad idea. You know, the BioRealty people couldn't do it in 4 years. Whatever. Bad, bad, bad business. And we got to start, even Cook is up there and the mayor are conversing about how in the board meeting they got more details on it than they're getting here. Well, that's where the decisions are all being made in the board meetings. We've got too many non-elected officials really running this community and deciding where the taxpayer dollars go, and that's why we've got to break up this. It's a monopoly. But until you guys do it, until the voters go, something. Look, the whole thing is, if I'm able to benefit from it, you'd be able to benefit from it, because it's more of trying to help the common man. I'm not a part of the oligarchies, clubs, and who else is going to stand up to them? Hell, even Rupert is finding out that Fox is going to fizzle over time because of the streaming networks and the streaming news. And at least, hey, and anybody want to come in here and correct me on all my mistakes, or you want to tell your side of the story, but this is the beginning of the end. It's just like, and tell me again, how do you commit to something past, and that's the whole reason you vote for it again? Well, look, we've got these obligations going off into, even though the bill sunset, but to sign a 10-year lease and to give all the tenant improvement dollars to this guy and this building and not have tenant one. Look, when you build it, they don't come, you know? Bring back the boulevard. Bullshit. We brought back the boulevard, but you guys funded and said you were doing all the improvements, but you didn't do it. You didn't bring back the boulevard. Private enterprise brought back the boulevard. Didn't have anything to do with government. And yeah, you can remove your sign. I feel like taking it over there. Back when I was a drunk, I would have got some friends together and we'd have put that in the mayor's yard, But I've matured a little, just a little. Ran into our Speaker of the House today, and I'm telling you, Ken Corbett, I wish you'd come in here and talk. We've got to kick the city out of the 3-mile radius, or we got to create the third planning commission, or we put back the Metropolitan Planning Commission. We got to make changes. And thank God Ken sued the county government over the revenue neutral. And Ken will be updating me on that lawsuit. But if you run into the Speaker of the House, encourage, he got all discouraged about, well, why do you want me to waste our time if we have to go to court over it? Because that's where you've got to fight it. You got to fight things in court sometimes. Think about the lawfare on our friend Donald J. Trump. All these fake lawsuits over stuff. And they're just so evil and vindictive. But the bureaucrats and the oligarchs are going to have their day. It's just going to take time. And I'll be able to say, I told you so. That's all I got this morning. Hey, Howard, yes. Kick the city out of the 3 mile radius. Howard Hogan. I hope Howard runs for county commissioner. You ought to go down there and start uh, watching how inept the county commissioners really are. And you got to tell Rich Eckert that design build is not the way to go. Design build it's a fallacy to give your friends, you're out there saying that's the way to do it. That's just to give your friends the job. Okay, so we've got so much to do, but if we don't get out there and change it, and man, if God can make me clean and sober, God can save Shawnee County. There ain't anybody that knows change more than me. But this feeling of this is the beginning of the end. This AT&T building and this whole lease. It's the beginning of the end. Just remember when you were boiling water, and this is the epitome of the rich getting richer. And it will take time, but karma always has a way of working itself out. It does. It just takes time. And you heard it here first on the Henry McClure live show. And if you want to come in and you want to have a voice, I got an extra microphone. It's like I was playing Texas Hold'em the other day, and I got down to a chip and a chair. That's all. That's all it takes some days. A chip and a chair, and that's what I've got today. This is the my show is the epitome of a chip and a chair, and we've got to get the voice out. There's no way you can go door to door to all the people, and the disconnect between the voters and the elected officials, and then the disconnect between the elected officials and the oligarchs and the people that think they're running this town right. And you're ruining our community. I'm going to tell you right now, you're ruining our city. That's why we've never grown. I'm 65 years old and born July 13th, 1959. I think there was 19,814 people, something like that. 119,000. And look where we are today. It's because the oligarchs are choking this town. They're reaping all the benefits, and all the contractors, the designers, and all the people, they're just feeding off of it. And we go from boondoggle to boondoggle. So we're going to build an iconic bridge. It's coming. And I can't wait to see him justify the stupidity. Then the riverfront. Oh man, this whole thing. You can see the future, baby. Henry McClure live. We got to make change. We've got to throw the bums out.